Hello students, Namaste. Once again welcome to this new session of Python. Today we are going to learn something very interesting, that is lists in Python. But before we start the list, just let us try to recollect what we had done in the last lecture. In the last session we had studied strings in Python, how we can store strings, how we can manage indexing, how we can fetch part of the string using the slicing technique, some of the functions related to the string, length, upper, lower, replace works like find, replace, and finally the format method uh, that can be used for a placeholder or a variable. Yes, one of its use is also to concatenate numbers with strings. Now, just let me go a little bit back to what we had studied previously. We had taken an overview of the data types in Python. One of the data types are the sequence types. In the sequence types, there are three data types: list, tuple, and range. Today we are going to study the list. Now, again, before I start with the list, just let me brief you about something similar that you have studied in other languages. Just try to recollect. You have studied arrays in C, C++, or maybe Java. Now, what is basically an array? An array is a container of similar type of values. That means, if you take roll number, array of roll number, each and every element of the array is going to contain number. Say for example, you take array of name, then each and every element of name is going to contain the name, that is the data type is string. So, that is what we had studied. Now, list is something similar to an array, but with a difference, and here you will come to know why Python is easy, simple to learn, and the advantages that it has with other languages. So, let us start. We go to the Python shell and we try to create a list, lst, say for example simple list 1, 2, 3, and here you go lst, and we get the list. Now, as you can observe, how to create a list? List is simply a sequence of elements enclosed within square brackets. Remember, in Python this brackets, each type of bracket indicates something different. So, for list we have square brackets, and you can define either an empty list, that is without any element, or with one or more elements. Now, list can contain numbers, say for example city. Now, it is not necessary that it will contain only numbers, it can contain some other values also. That is, here the list is having string. I am just storing 3 city names and I try to print city, and here we go, all the 3 city names are there. That is, the first list contains a set of numbers, the second list contains a set of strings. Up till now we have seen this is something similar to an array, but now we are going to see something different. Just try to recollect the data structures that you have studied in C. You can have elements of different data types in a structure, and same way the list can. Say for example player, I am creating a list of player starting with the name Sachin, maybe some he was a batsman, so maybe his date of birth, we just try to put a random guess for it. Say 111985, say for example, and the number of centuries that is scored, say for example 100. So, if you can observe carefully, we have one string value, another string value, one date value, and one numeric value. I can have a floating point value as well. Let me just try to print. This time I am using the print command. Nothing difference, there is no difference in using the print or directly giving player, you get the output. So, this is the big difference between a list and an array, in the sense a list can contain elements of different data type. Sachin is having a different data type, 100 is having a different data type. So, that is the biggest thing as far as a list is concerned. So, let us go further. As you can observe, the values are written in the form of comma, values are written separated by a comma. Now, just let me try to check, say for example, the type function can be used to check the data type of the variable player. Then what happens? Yes, it gives class list. Say for example, type LST, again it will give class list. Remember, in Python each data type is a class, hence you can think of something like creating object for the class when we are assigning value to a variable. Now, moving forward, we had studied slicing and indexing in strings. The same thing is true as far as list is also concerned. That means, to fetch one particular element from the list, we can use the indexing technique. For fetching multiple elements, we can use slicing. Say for example, let me just try it out. LST of 0. What happens? We get 1. Why? Because the first element in the LST is 1. Now remember, in indexing what we had done, the indexing starts from 0 to positive numbers from left to right, and if we want to follow the reverse order, right to left, then it starts from -1. So, -1 will be 3. Similarly, say for example, player 1. So, it will give the output batsman which is at the index 1. So, again we are making use of the indexing technique with list also. Now, let us try to create one more list, num equals a bigger list this time. We can use the slicing technique as well. Num, say for example 3 colon. What happens? You have to just check which element contains the index 3. Index 0, 1, 2 and 3. We have given 3 colon. That means each and every element starting from the index value 3. I repeat, not the value 3 but the index value 3. 4 is at index value 3 because we start the indexing number from 0 when we go from left to right. So, all the remaining elements are printed. Similarly, say for example, I give -3 colon. This time we give -2 colon and we get the output as 5,6. Why? Because when you apply the negative sign, the indexing starts from right to left, that is this way, and the first element on the rightmost side will have the index -1. So, these are the two elements with -2. Similarly, say for example num 1 colon 4. That means what is going to happen? The first element will be at index 1 and it will go up to 4. Why up to 4? Not the number 4, but this is index 1, this is index 2, this is index 3. Remember, the lower limit is included in the index, the upper limit is not included in the index. That is, actually we are printing the numbers at index 1, 2 and 3. So, the upper limit you have to be careful about. So, I hope the indexing and slicing is clear as far as a list is concerned. It is the same as strings that we have studied in Python. Now, let us try to check the next thing. Say for example, I want to remove some elements from the list. Let me print num once again. Delete num 3. That means the element at the third location will be deleted. Just try to observe. Delete num 3. This does not indicate the element that you want to remove. This indicates the index. The element that is there at this index is going to be removed. So, this is index 0, 1, 2 and 3. So, 4 is at index 3 and hence that particular element is going to be removed. So, we have the remaining items in the list. Now, say for example, just let me show you. Delete can work on the entire set of elements as well. Say LST. Now, if I give LST, what happens? No such thing exists. That is, name LST is not defined because the entire list is removed. Now, let us try to check whether slicing works with delete or not. Let me try to print num. Now, I am giving 2 colon. That means 0 and 1 should remain. The numbers present from the second onward should be deleted. So, fine. It's working absolutely fine, nicely. That means you can use the indexing as well as the slicing technique with the del command. Moreover, what happens is you can also remove the entire list totally using the del command as you are seeing or observing over here. So, this is as far the del command is concerned. Now, let me try to change the elements in the list. Num equals say 12 comma 3 comma 67 comma 9 comma 34 comma 2. Fine. I am just creating a list. We have two lists at present and the other one is city. The next thing that we are going to study is we are going to study some of the functions that are there defined for the list. Now, just let us try to check. The first function is length, then we have mean and max. But we forgot one point over here. A list can consist of multiple existing lists. Say for example, we try to check LST. No. LST, if I am creating num comma city, what happens? sorry, equals to, I had forgotten, LST is equal to num comma city. So basically you can observe that you can do nesting of list as well. That means there is a list 1 within the list and list 2 within the list. So basically the point that is written over here, a list can consist of multiple existing list. This we will try to check it out once again when we go further. But now we try to understand the basic functions. Some of them are simple, some of them we just need to understand. Say for example, length of num, I put a semicolon, length of city, I put a semicolon, length of LST. Can you think of the output? Num basically consists of how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. City consists of 3 cities. But what about LST? Will it be this 6 plus 3 or will it be just 2 because it consists of 2 lists? So let us try to execute. Length of num is quite simple, that is 6, we had counted. City is quite simple, it is 3. And what is the length of LST? Because yes, it is a nested list, but basically within the list there are only 2 elements, that is element 1 and element 2, and hence the length is what? The length is 2. So the length function or the len function is quite simple. You have to just pass the name of the list and it will tell you how many elements are there in the list. Now we try to check the next function. The next two functions are actually interesting. Max num semicolon mean num. What happens? Max returns the maximum value that is there in the number list, and as you can observe the maximum number is 67, so it returns 67. The minimum value is 2, so it returns 2. Now just try to focus. These are numeric values, so max and mean functions were easy. Now let us try to apply max and mean function on the city list. Max city comma mean city, and let us try to check what happens. Well, the output is for max is Rajkot, for mean city it is Ahmedabad. So what basically it is trying to do? For that I will show you something. There is one ORD function in Python which gives the ASCII value of the character. Let us try to check the ASCII value of both of these characters, and we get 114 and 97 respectively. Since the ASCII value of the first character, it will just check the ASCII value of the first character for all the 3 cities. It is maximum for Rajkot, so it will print Rajkot. It is minimum for Ahmedabad, so it will print Ahmedabad for mean function. Do we want to cross check? Let us try to do so. In doing this, we are going to study one more thing. City, say for example 0. Which city is at index 0? The first city, that is Rajkot. I am modifying it. Say for example Rajkot. Now let us try to check. Little bit of change, only the first character is R. Let me try to show you something. Now what is the ASCII value of R? That means R in uppercase or capital R, that is 82. So now how does max city and min city work? Max city is Delhi and mean city again is Rajkot. Why? Because it does not check the length of the city, it just checks the first character of the string elements within the list. This is having 82, this is having 97, probably D will be having 100. Just let us try to check. Instead of capital R we give small d and it is having 100. So that is why Delhi comes as the maximum city and Rajkot, because R has the minimum ASCII value 82, so it shows Rajkot as the mean city. So this is how max and mean functions work on the list. So once again, just let us try to recollect what we have studied so far. Today in this particular session we have studied what is a list. It's basically a sequence of elements within square brackets separated by a comma, but unlike arrays, every element need not have the same data type. Every element can have a different data type, that we have seen. Moreover, just like strings, list also has got index numbers, and we can manage indexing and slicing on list as well. The del command can be used to remove a single element at a particular index, or multiple elements using slicing, or the entire list itself. We have seen nesting of list is also possible, and we have studied the three functions, the common functions applicable to the list, that is length, mean and max. Specifically we have studied how mean and max work on string values. Length is comparatively simpler. So that is all for this particular session of Python. In the next session we are going to study the methods that are there in Python. Remember, there is a difference between functions and methods, though there is a similarity as well. Function is more over a procedure oriented terminology, whereas methods are more often an object oriented terminology. However, both the terms can be used interchangeably also. So thank you. That's all for